And shalom. Welcome to Cover with Jeremy Pyers. So today we're going to be doing part 11 of the book of Jubilees. It's quite an amazing book. Brings a whole lot of context into a whole lot of things, if you haven't noticed and if you've been following. No, I highly recommend everybody read this for their own, do their own studies. But I love when you guys watch as well, so thank you. All right. A lot of craziness, a lot of madness in the world. You know, it's really sad, honestly. Too many people falling for too many deceptions. There's only one person we should be following. That's following Messiah and following Yahweh's commandments, following his Torah, following all of that, following his feasts. Don't fear this made-up scamdemic. Don't buy into the fear they push. Just don't. Put all your trust in him, and he will take care of you. Trust me, he will. He will. All right. So, welcome all. Welcome. Let's see. So we left off on chapter 35 last time. So let's get into it. So chapter 35 of the book of Jubilees. And in the first year of the first week of the 45th Jubilee, Rikvah called Yaakov her son, and commanded him regarding his father and regarding his brother, that he should honor them all the days of his life. And Yaakov said, I will do everything as you have commanded me, for this thing will be honor and greatness to me, and righteousness before Yahweh, that I should honor them. And you too, mother, know from the time I was born until this day, all my deeds and all that is in my heart, that I always think good concerning all. And how should I not do this thing which you have commanded me, that I should honor my father and my brother? Tell me, mother, what perversity have you seen in me, and shall I turn away from it? And mercy will be upon me. And she said unto him, My son, I have not seen in you all my days any perverse, but only upright deeds. And yet I will tell you the truth, my son. I shall die this year, and I shall not survive this year in my life. For I have seen in a dream the day of my death, that I should not live beyond 150 years. And behold, I have completed all the days of my life, which I am to live. And Yaakov laughed at the words of his mother, because his mother had said unto him that she should die. And she was sitting opposite to him, in possession of her strength, and she was not infirm in her strength. For she went in and out, and saw her teeth were strong, and no ailment had touched her all the days of her life. And Yaakov said unto her, Blessed am I, mother, if my days approach the days of your life, and my strength remain with me, thus as your strength. And you will not die, for you are jesting idly with me regarding your death. And she went into Yitzhak, and said unto him, One petition I make unto you. Make Esau swear that he will not injure Yaakov, nor pursue him with enmity. For you know Esau's thoughts, that they are perverse from his youth, and there is no goodness in him. For he desires after your death to kill him. And you know all that he has done since the day Yaakov his brother went to Haran until this day. Excuse me. How he has forsaken us with his whole heart, and has done evil to us. Your flocks he has taken to himself, carried off all your possessions from before your face. And when we implored and besought him for what was our own, he did as a man who is taking pity on us. And he is bitter against you, because you did bless Yaakov, your perfect and upright son. For there is no evil, but only goodness in him. And since he came from Haran unto this day, he has not robbed us of anything. For he brings us everything in its season, always, and rejoices with all his heart when we take at his hands, and he blesses us. And he has not parted from us since he came from Haran until this day, and he remains with us continually at home, honoring us. And Yitzhak said unto her, I too know and see the deeds of Yaakov, who is with us, how that with all his heart he honors us. I loved Esau formerly more than Yaakov, because he was the firstborn. But now I love Yaakov more than Esau, for he has done manifold evil deeds. And there is no righteousness in him, for all his ways are unrighteousness and violence, and there is no righteousness around him. And now my heart is troubled because of all his deeds, and neither he nor his seed is to be saved. For there are those who will be destroyed from the earth, and who will be rooted out from under heaven. For he has forsaken the Elohim of Abraham, and gone after his women, and after their uncleanness, and after their error, he and his children. And you do bid me make him swear that he will not slay Yaakov his brother, even if you swear he will not abide by his oath. And he will not do good but evil only. But if he desires to slay Yaakov his brother, into Yaakov's hand will he be given, and he will not escape from his hands, for he will descend into his hands. And fear you not on account of Yaakov, for the guardian of Yaakov is great, and powerful, and honored, and praised more than the guardian of Esau. Pretty interesting here. And if those of you who don't know about like Esau and all that, there's many claims to who Esau is. I think it's the ones who are in the synagogue of Satan, honestly. The false Jews, the Zionists. I think they're really Esau, to tell you the truth. But that's my opinion. Anyway. And Rikphaz sent and called Esau, and he came to her, and she said unto him, I have a petition, my son, to make unto you. And do you promise to do it, my son? And he said, I will do everything that you say unto me, and I will not refuse your petition. And she said unto him, I ask you that the day I die, you will take me in and bury me near Sarah, your father's mother, and that you and Yaakov will love each other, and that neither will desire evil against the other, but mutual love only. And so ye will prosper, my sons, and be honored in the midst of the land, and no enemy will rejoice over you, and you will be a blessing and a mercy in the eyes of all that love you. And he said, I will do all that you have told me, and I shall bury you on the day you die, near Sarah, my father's mother, as you have desired that her bones may be near your bones. And Yaakov my brother also I shall love above all flesh, for I have not a brother in all the earth but him only. And this is no great merit for me if I love him, for he is my brother. and we were sewn together in your body, and together we came forth from your womb. And if I do not love my brother, who shall I love? And I myself beg you to exhort Yaakov concerning me and concerning my sons, for I know that he will assuredly be a king over me and my sons. For on the day my father blessed him, he made him the higher and me the lower. And I swear unto you that I shall love him and not desire evil against him all the days of my life, but good only. And he swore unto her regarding all this matter. And she called Yaakov before the eyes of Esau, and gave him commandment according to the words which she had spoken to Esau. And he said, I shall do your pleasure. Believe me, that no evil will proceed from me, or from my sons against Esau. And I shall be first and not, save, in love only. And they ate and drank, she and her sons that night. And she died 3 Jubilees, 1 week and 1 year old. On that night, and her 2 sons, Esau and Yaakov, buried her in the double cave, near Sarah, their father's mother. So, hold on 1 second. Okay. Thought my connection was going out. My apologies. Alright, so chapter 36. And in the 6th year of this week, Yitzhak called his 2 sons Esau and Yaakov. And they came to him, and he said unto them, My sons, I am going the way of my fathers, to the eternal house where my fathers are. Wherefore bury me near Abraham my father, in the double cave in the field of Ephron, the Shitty, where Abraham purchased a sepulchre to bury in. In the sepulchre where I dug for myself, there bury me. And this I command you, my sons, that ye practice righteousness and uprightness on the earth, so that Yahweh may bring upon you all that Yahweh said that he would do to Abraham and to his seed. And love one another, my sons, your brothers, as a man who loves his own soul, and let each seek in what he may benefit his brother, and act together on the earth, and let them love each other as their own souls. And concerning the question of idols, I command and admonish you to reject them and hate them, and love them not, for they are full of deception for those that worship them, and for those that bow down to them. Remember ye, my sons, Yahweh Elohim of Abraham your father, and how I too worshipped him, and served him in righteousness and in joy, that he may multiply you, and increase your seed, as the stars of heaven in multitude, and establish you on the earth as the plant of righteousness, which will not be rooted out unto all generations forever. And that's us. That's us, Mishpacha. And now I shall make you swear a great oath, for there is no oath great which is greater than it by the name glorious and honored, and the great and splendid and wonderful and mighty, which created the heavens and the earth, and all things together, that ye will fear him and worship him, and that each will love his brother with affection and righteousness, and that neither will desire evil against his brother, from henceforth forever all the days of your life, so that ye may prosper in all your deeds, and not be destroyed. And if either of you devises evil against his brother, know that from henceforth Every one that devises evil against his brother shall fall into his hand, and shall be rooted out of the land of the living, and his seed shall be destroyed from under heaven. But on the day of turbulence, and execration, and indignation, and anger, with flaming devouring fire, as he burnt Sodom, so likewise will he burn his land, and his city, and all that is his, and he shall be blotted out of the sefer of the discipline of the children of men, and not to be reordered, or not to be recorded in the sefer of life, but in that which is appointed to destruction. And he shall depart into the eternal execration, so that their condemnation may be always renewed in hate, and in execration, and in wrath, and in torment, and in indignation, and in plagues, and in disease forever. I say and testify to you, my sons, according to the judgment which shall come upon the man who wishes to injure his brother. And he divided all his possessions between the two on that day, and he gave the larger portion to him that was the firstborn, and the tower and all that was about it, and all that Abraham possessed at the well of the oath. And he said, This larger portion I will give to the firstborn. And Esau said, I have sold to Yaakov, and given my birthright to Yaakov. To him let it be given. And I have not a single word to say regarding it, for it is his. And Yitzhak said, May a blessing rest upon you, my sons, and upon your seed this day. For ye have given me rest, and my heart is not pained concerning the birthright, lest you should work wickedness on account of it. May El Elyon bless the man that works righteousness, him and his seed forever. And he ended commanding them and blessing them, and they ate and drank together before him. And he rejoiced because there was one mind between them. And they went forth from him, and rested that day and slept. And Yitzhak slept on his bed that day, rejoicing. And he slept the eternal sleep. And he died 180 years old. He completed 25 weeks and 5 years. And his two sons Esau and Yaakov buried him. And Esau went to the land of Edom, to the mountains of Seir, and dwelt there. And Yaakov dwelt in the mountains of Hebron, in the tower of the land of the sojournings of his father Abraham. And he worshipped Yahweh with all his heart, and according to the visible commands, according as he divided the days of his generations. And Leah his woman died in the 4th year of the 2nd week of the 45th Jubilee. And he buried her in the double cave near Rivkah his mother, to the left of the grave of Sarah, his father's mother. And all her sons and his sons came to mourn over Leah, his woman, with him, and to comfort him regarding her. For he was lamenting her, for he loved her exceedingly, after Rachel her sister died. For she was perfect and upright in all her ways, and honored Yaakov, and all the days that she lived with him, he did not hear from her mouth a harsh word. For she was gentle and peaceable, and upright and honorable. And he remembered all her deeds, which she had done during her life, and he lamented her exceedingly, for he loved her with all his heart and his soul. Chapter 37. And on that day Yitzhak, the father of Yaakov, and Esau died. The sons of Esau heard that Yitzhak had given the portion of the elder to his younger son Yaakov, and they were very angry. And they strove with their father, saying, Why has your father given Yaakov the portion of the elder and passed over you, although you are the elder, and Yaakov the younger? And he said unto them, Because I sold my birthright to Yaakov for a small mess of lentils, and on the day my father sent me to hunt and catch and bring him something that he should eat and bless me, he came with guile and brought my father food and drink, and my father blessed him and put me under his hand. And now our father has caused us to swear, me and him, that we shall not mutually devise evil either against his brother, and that we shall continue in love and in peace each with his brother, and do not make our ways corrupt. And they said unto him, We shall not hearken unto you to make peace with him, for our strength is greater than his strength, and we are more powerful than he. We shall go against him and slay him, and destroy him and his sons. And if you will not go with us, we shall do hurt to you also. And now hearken to us. Let us send to Aram, and Pelesheth, and Moab, and Ammon, and let us choose for ourselves chosen men, who are ardent for battle, and let us go against him and do battle with him, and let us exterminate him from the earth before he grows strong. And their father said unto them, Do not go, and do not make war with him, lest ye fall before him. And they said unto him, This too is exactly your mode of action from your youth unto this day, and you are putting your neck under his yoke. We shall not hearken to these words. And it's all because Esau married the daughters of Canaan. And now his sons are all rebellious. They don't listen to him. They don't care for what he has to say. And they sent to Aram and to Adoram, to the friend of their father, and they hired along with them 1,000 fighting men, chosen men of war. And there came to them from Moab, and from the children of Ammon, those who were hired, 1,000 chosen men, and from Pelesheth 1,000 chosen men of war, and from Edom and from the Chorim 1,000 chosen fighting men, and from the Kittim mighty men of war. And they said unto their father, Go forth with them and lead them, else we shall slay you. And he was filled with wrath and indignation on seeing that his sons were forcing him to go before them, to lead them against Yaakov his brother. But afterward he remembered all the evil which lay hidden in his heart against Yaakov his brother, and he remembered not the oath which he had sworn to his father and to his mother, that he would devise no evil at all his days against Yaakov his brother. And notwithstanding all this, Yaakov knew not that they were coming against him to battle, and he was mourning for Leah his woman, until they approached very near to the tower with 4,000 warriors and chosen men of war. And the men of Hebron sent to him, saying, Behold, your brother has come against you to fight you, with 4,000 girt with the sword, and they carry shields and weapons, for they loved Yaakov more than Esau. So they told him, for Yaakov was more liberal and merciful than Esau. But Yaakov would not believe until they came very near to the tower, and he closed the gates of the tower. And he stood on the battlements and spoke to his brother Esau, and said, Noble is the comfort wherewith you have come to comfort me for my woman who has died. Is this the oath that you did swear to your father, and again to your mother before they died? You have broken the oath, and on the monument that you did swear to your father, were you condemned. Then Esau answered and said unto him, Neither the children of men, nor the beasts of the earth, have any oath of righteousness, which in swearing they have sworn an oath valid forever. But every day they devised evil one against another, and how each may slay his adversary and foe. And you do hate me and my children forever, and there is no observing the tie of brotherhood with you. Hear these words which I declare unto you. If the boar can change its skin, and make its bristles as soft as wool, or if it can cause horns to sprout forth on its head like the horns of a stag or of a sheep, then will I observe the tie of brotherhood with you. And if the breasts separated themselves from their mother, for you have not been a brother to me, and if the wolves make peace with the lamb, as not to devour or do them violence, and if their hearts are towards them for good, then shall there be peace in my heart towards you. And if the lion becomes the friend of the ox, and makes peace with him, and if he is bound under one yoke with him, and plows with him, then I will make peace with you. And when the raven becomes white as the raza, then know that I have loved you, and shall make peace with you. Excuse me. You shall be rooted out, and your sons shall be rooted out, and there shall be no peace for you. And when Yaakov saw that he was so evilly disposed towards him, with his heart, and with all his soul, as to slay him, and that he had come springing, like the wild boar, which comes upon the spear, that pierces and kills it, and recoils not from it, then he spoke to his own and to his servants that they should attack him and all his companions. Kind of crazy, and just like Esau let his sons bring up that hate in his heart again, and now he's straight up going against the oath that he swore to his father before he died. Chapter 38. And after that Yehudah spoke to Yaakov his father, and said unto him, Bend your bow, father, and send forth your arrows, and cast down the adversary, and slay the enemy. And may you have the power, for we shall not slay your brother. For he is such as you, and he is like you. Let us give him this honor. Then Yaakov bent his bow, and sent forth the arrow, and struck Esau, his brother, on his right breast, and slew him. And again he sent forth an arrow, and struck Adoran, their Aramite, on the left breast, and drove him backwards, and slew him. Then went forth the sons of Yaakov, they and their servants, dividing themselves into companies on the four sides of the tower. And Yehudah went forth in the front, and Naphtali and Gad with him, and 50 servants with him on the south side of the tower. And they slew all they found before them, and not one individual of them escaped. And Levi and Dan and Asher went forth on the east side of the tower, and 50 men with them, and they slew the fighting men of Moab and Ammon. And Reuben and Issachar and Zebulun went forth on the north side of the tower, and 50 men with them, and they slew the fighting men of the Pelishtim. And Shimeon and Benjamin and Hanok and Reuben's son went forth to the west side of the tower, and 50 men with them they slew of Edom, and of the Horim 400 men, stout warriors, And 600 fled, and 4 of the sons of Esau fled with them. And they left their father lying slain, as he had fallen on the hill, which is in Adoram. And the sons of Yaakov pursued after them to the mountains of Seir. And Yaakov buried his brother on the hill, which is in Adoram, and he returned to his house. And the sons of Yaakov pressed hard upon the sons of Esau in the mountains of Seir, and bowed their necks, so that they became servants of the sons of Yaakov. And they sent to their father to inquire whether they should make peace with them or slay them. And Yaakov sent word to his sons that they should make peace, and they made peace with them, and placed a yoke of servitude upon them, so that they paid tribute to Yaakov and to his sons always. And they continued to pay tribute to Yaakov until the day that he went down into Mitzrayim. And the sons of Edom have not gone free of the yoke of servitude, which the 12 sons of Yaakov had imposed on them until this day. And these are the kings that reigned in Edom before there reigned any king over the children of Yasharel, until this day in the land of Edom. And Balak the son of Beor reigned in Edom, and the name of his city was Danabah. And Balak died, and Yovav the son of Zerach of Botzrah reigned in his stead. And Yovav died, excuse me, and Shuzam of the land of Teman reigned in his stead. And Shuzam died, and Adath the son of Barad, who slew Midian in the field of Moab, reigned in his stead. And the name of his city was Avieth. And Adath died, and Salman from Amesca reigned in his stead. And Salman died, and Shaul of Ravaoth by the river reigned in his stead. And Shaul died, and Baalnun the son of Achbor reigned in his stead. And Baalnunan the son of Achbor died, and Adath reigned in his stead. And the name of his women was Medabith, the daughter of Madarat, the daughter of Medabezdav. Goodness, that's quite a name. These are the kings who reigned in the land of Edom. Alright, chapter 39. This will be the last one for this evening. Excuse me. And Yaakov dwelt in the land of his father's sojournings in the land of Canaan. These are the generations of Yaakov. And Joseph was 17 years old when they took him down into the land of Mitzrayim. And Potiphar, a eunuch of Pharaoh, the chief cook, bought him. And he set Joseph over all his house, and the blessings of Yahweh came upon the house of the Mitzri, on account of Joseph. And Yahweh prospered him in all that he did. And the Mitzri committed everything into the hands of Joseph, for he saw that Yahweh was with him, and that Yahweh prospered him in all that he did. And Joseph's appearance was comely, and very beautiful was his appearance. And his Adonai's woman lifted up her eyes, and saw Joseph. And she loved him, and besought him to lie with her. But he did not surrender his soul, and he remembered Yahweh, and the words of which Yaakov his father used to read from amongst the words of Abraham, that no man should commit fornication with a woman who has a man. that for him is the punishment of death, has been ordained in the heavens before El Elyon, and the sin will be recorded against him in the eternal Sepharim, continually before Yahweh. And Yosef remembered these words, and refused to lie with her. And she besought him for a year, but he refused and would not listen. But she embraced him and held him fast in the house, in order to force him to lie with her, and closed the doors of the house and held him fast. But he left his garment in her hands, and broke through the door and fled without her, fled without from her presence. And the woman saw that he would not lie with her, and she bore false witness of him in the presence of his Adonai, saying, Your Ivri servant, who you love, sought to force me, so that he might lie with me. And it came to pass, when I lifted up my voice, that he fled, and left his garment in my hands, when I held him. And he broke through the door. And the Mitzri saw the garment of Yosef, and the broken door, and heard the words of his woman, and cast Yosef into prison, in the place where the prisoners were kept, whom the king imprisoned. And he was there in the prison, and Yahweh gave Yosef favor in the sight of the chief of the prison guards, and compassion before him, for he saw that Yahweh was with him, and that Yahweh made all that he did to prosper. And he committed all things into his hands. And the chief of the prison guards knew of nothing that was with him. For Yosef did everything, and Yahweh perfected it. And he remained there 2 years. And in those days Pharaoh, king of Mitzrayim, was wroth against his 2 eunuchs, against the chief butler, and against the chief baker. And he put them in the ward in the house of the chief cook, in the prison where Yosef was kept. And the chief of the prison guards appointed Yosef to serve them, and he served before them. And they both dreamed a dream, and the chief butler and the chief baker. And they told it to Yosef, and as he interpreted it to them, so it befell them. And the Pharaoh restored the chief butler to his office, and the chief baker he slew, as Yosef had interpreted to them. But the chief butler forgot Yosef in the prison, although he had informed him what would befall him, and did not remember to inform Pharaoh how Yosef had told him, for he had forgot. Alright, so this is where it goes into the context of Joseph in Egypt. Hey, shalom, Melissa. And so that's where we're stopping there for this evening, though. Yeah, I need to take some elderberry and some colloidal silver because my throat's starting to get to me. Anyway, I hope you guys are enjoying the reading of Jubilees. You know, it's an amazing book. It's 100% canon it's not only my opinion, but it's historically accurate. It goes right along with Genesis. There's nothing inaccurate about it. Like, it's legit, 100%. Anyways, thank you for joining me. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to hit the bell icon. That way you can get notified when I do go live. Even though it's about, every Sunday this time. Unless I'm doing like a special video. which I am working on doing some more, don't worry. It's just I've gotten back to work and more work has come in, so I've been rather busy the last couple weeks. I'm still working on doing the Bibles and supplies for the homeless. No one really donated for that, but it's okay. Yeah, Andrea, yeah, elderberry, it's awesome. It's awesome for you. I mix it with some orange juice and some pineapple juice, and it's delicious. Orange and pineapple juice are actually good for you as well. Pineapple juice kind of it helps with breathing in your lungs. I use a little bit of mullein extract in there as well, which also clears out your lungs. And I have a whole regimen. I have some colloidal silver that I use. Don't use that a lot because I know if you use too much of it, which does take quite a lot, but I use it about once a week usually. And really the only things I get is just kind of a scratchy throat like I have, and once I drink it, it's like it disappears. But and you are welcome. You are welcome. It is my pleasure, and it is my duty as a man of Yah to bring you his word. Okay, you can private message me as well. My phone, it's easier if you private message me, but yes. So I'm planning to do the homeless thing. I don't know when, honestly. Once my work slows down again, probably within the next couple weeks here. That's gonna be my guess. But planning on do it. Yeah, there was also a brother who said he was gonna donate a bunch of Bibles as well. And yeah, I know what you mean, Andrea. But there's a brother who's here. He said he's gonna donate Bibles, but he said he's gonna go to Nigeria for a bit, so I have to connect up with him. There's a few things I gotta do. But anyway, you can follow me on Facebook as well as under Cover to Cover because my main account was zucked. So those of you who have been wondering, hey, where does Facebook go? He hasn't been on the last 6 months. No, my main account was just zucked, so look for me under Cover to Cover. You'll see my picture. I also have a Facebook page, Cover to Cover, discussion group. Check it out. I post a lot of things. There's a lot of questions, good questions, and lots of stuff there. So, anyways, enough rambling on. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you all for watching me live. Yeah, my beard is getting long. It's been 2 years since I've actually trimmed my beard. This will be my 3rd year in Torah. It's pretty amazing, actually, because I had a beard before Yah awakened, before Yah opened my eyes. I had a beard, but it was not much. It's just I always trimmed it every day or every week, I should say. But Yah put it on my heart to just grow out my beard, so I did, and I have been ever since. 2 years now. I do need a haircut though, I can see. But awesome. Thank you all. Thank you all. Feel free to message me on Facebook. Feel free to comment questions or anything. I'm always open. Thank you all. Thank you. Just make sure there's no more questions before I go. All right. Awesome. Thank you all. Have a blessed evening. Have a blessed week. We will see you next week. The same time, same place, different chapters. Shalom, shalom, shalom.